That being asked to come here and speak is, people respect what I've done, and I take that very seriously. I take this business very seriously. I take my job and my reputation and how I do my business, how I coach, how I treat people. So to get an opportunity to come here and speak to you guys, the greatest position, because I can tell you right now, I've coached a lot of different positions. I've worked on a lot of different staffs, and it's by far the hardest job coaching the offensive line. I've been a quarterback coach, offensive coordinator for a team that was number 2 in the country in scoring. And that was way easier than coaching the offensive line, way easier. You got to work your butt off. You guys know that. You got to develop players. You have to evaluate, do all those things, and at the end of the day, you have the best guys to work with. You have the best guys on the team. And I found that out everywhere I've been. I mean, I went to Ohio State, the best guys on our team, and no offense to anybody else on our team, but our offensive linemen, and that's everywhere I've been. So I love coaching the offensive line. I've learned a lot from a lot of people. Everything I do, is from somewhere, somehow, something that I've come across. And what I wanted to do today, though, is not really talk fundamentals. I wanted to talk about zone read. And the reason I wanted to talk about zone read is that's a new fad that's becoming really popular, even in the NFL. And you guys know that. I mean, that's the Washington Redskins are doing it. The San Francisco 49ers are doing it. A lot of the teams in the league are doing it. And there's quarterbacks out there that are going to move into the league. Our quarterback someday will play in the league, and he's pretty good at zone read. But we'll just go through the concepts of that. I mean, I coached at West Point. I've coached at the Air Force Academy. We were 3-back, triple option, inside veer, and these same principles apply, just we're doing it out of the shotgun. And the same count system applies, the same, main ingredients in the triple option in the bone are the same things that we're doing. Just little different mechanics, again, in shotgun, how to read a defensive end from off the ball, things like that. So I'll talk through our zone read. We have a lot of different ways of doing it. Hopefully there's some things there that can appeal to you. Because everybody understands now in defensive football what's going to happen. They're going to put one more guy down there than you can block. And then when that guy makes the tackle for a 3-yard gain and the coordinator or the head coach is looking at you like, why can't we run the ball? We're freaking blocking the shit out of everybody we can put a hat on, and the guy that's making the tackle, there's nobody to block him. And you're looking at the coordinator like, well, call a damn play action pass. I don't want to pass when we're backed up. I got you. Okay, so what are you going to do? Then you tell the tailback, you got to make him miss. Doesn't always happen. So the answer is, can you option or read that extra defender? So that's where the zone read came. That's where triple option football came. So that's our way of continuing to be able to run the football when they have one more guy than we can block. So when we're in a +1 scenario, we use zone read. And then we have zone read with option with it if we're in a +2 scenario. So we'll just go through and kind of understand conceptually that's what we're looking at, and that's why we're doing it. And then we take advantage of, the personnel that we have. All right. You guys don't care much about this. But I'm proud of the fact that we averaged 5.2 yards per carry, which is pretty decent. And rushing touchdowns, that's the best at Ohio State in 30-some years. And only 6 teams in the history of Ohio State have gone undefeated. So those things are pretty good accomplishments for us coming in the first year. And because we have good players too, and part of being a good coach is getting good players in good position. So I think we've done that. Our Ohio State zone, so we have vertical and horizontal stretch in it. We equate numbers by reading a defender. We're a big 90-degree double team, so we call it zone, but it's not pure zone. We're double teaming at the point of attack, and we're trying to get 2 double teams on the 2 inside guys and a 4 down front. The big thing now is a lot of pressure off the edge, so we have to have answers for edge pressure. We'll talk about those as we go. We have to have answers for numbers in the box. We have the built-in triple option part of it. And then our back's aiming point, that's a big question that a lot of people have, but our back's aiming point is the center's midline. So, I mean, he's right up the crack of the center. And then we can do it from the offset or the pistol, which gives us some versatility. And then the beautiful thing for the offensive line is we have a lot of different versions of this. And the thing we try to do is keep it really simple there. And meaning same as. If I can have 5 plays and they can do whatever they want with the wideouts, the running backs, the receivers, quarterbacks, do all this. If it's the same for the offensive line, that makes my life a lot better. So, you know, philosophically, I'm really resistant to add things if it continues to add for the offensive line. So we like the same as principle. That's what we mean by that. So we're going to talk about, the first part of this is going to be open backside. So no tight end on the backside, just reading the backside defensive end. The base rule for the backside tackle is he never blocks the read key. All right? And as this progresses, we don't want to block the read key, so we do some unique things there in that regard. All right? The tight end front side handles the front side edge pressure. The offensive line, the tackle on the backside will handle the edge pressure. And then triple option component, all that. So let's just look at it. So there's the basic formation. Then you can put the wide receivers wherever you want, 3 by 1, you know, which is usually what happens. You can go 2 by 2. But most of the time we would be in this set and have, you know, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and be in a 3 by 1 set. And then there's your extra defender down. They want to play the safety down to this side because of things we're doing in the run game. Then we're going to block it. We're going to ID. And so we have a count system, and we ID somebody. We come up there, and we're going to ID the middle of 3. So if we have a tight end set, we're going to ID the middle of 3. If we don't have a tight end, then we always just ID the first linebacker in the box play side. All right, so we're working double teams to the second level, try to get vertical push. Our back is offset. Like you said, his aiming point, this is a little bit off, but it's that near cheek to right up the crack of the center. And we're just going to read the backside end. And if the backside end squeezes, then the quarterback's got to pull it and run. If the backside end sits there with shoulder square, we got to hand the ball off and get movement. We're going to go front side A gap as we read it, to backside A to backside B. We don't really want them to come out the front door very often. And if they do, they're on their own, because we would like for them to press, bring the second level players to the offensive line, and then we come off the double teams. And a lot of people ask me, I don't know what you guys use, I don't know what other people term they use, but when do you come off a double team? And our thing has become this: when you can smell his breath, you come off the double team. In other words, you're staying on that sumbitch and you're blocking that down guy, and then when you can smell his breath, come off. Because they all want to come off too soon. So they got to be pretty close to you to get a good whiff of them. So we're staying on the double teams, and we're going to say that the back can maneuver and you know, make things right. If the backer fits here, then if we stay on a double team and the backer's here, then we should be able to slide behind the double team. So we're asking the back to press, and the lineman to stay on those double teams as long as possible. We'll watch a couple clips of it. So again, here's our formation, like I said, 3 by. So we're in a 3 by set. So what are they playing? They're spinning down and playing 3 buzz or 3 strong. So they're a little bit thin back here. They're going to play one-on-one coverage, and there's no alley defender back there. So if that's how people want to play us, then this play becomes a play for you. Because we don't have some of our offense out here because they've got you manned up and they've got an extra defender and they're playing one high. So as we walk up, our center would ID 40. We're going to work to 40. Now the question becomes, how do we block the shade? We have two ways of blocking the shade, and they're both going to be on here. One is we'll double the shade to 40. We would do that if this guy's a penetrator. If he's going to try to get 2 yards deep in the backfield, which the new style of defensive line play is just penetrate and wreak havoc, then we've got to use our back shoulder flipper lift here, and we're going to work a double to 40. And when that happens, now this play side guard has no help. So the play side guard's going to go from an inside number or an outside number, outside V target. Now he's going to go to inside footwork and inside V target. So I used to use inside number, outside number. I've started using inside V and outside V because that's all that guy's looking at. I used to coach, at West Point and at Air Force. Those guys are all way smarter than I am. So if I tell them inside number, outside number, they kind of get that. Things have changed. If you can't see his numbers when he's in the stance, how can you tell him to hit a number? Coach, I can't see what number I'm hitting. Okay, so inside V, outside V is what we talk about now. And then if they show you their numbers, then they target a number. But he would use inside footwork, inside V of the neck to protect because they're doubling here, and you can't let that guy slant in the front side A-gap. The other way we can go is we can say, so here, we're doubling this one out. So we just have a call. The center makes that call. I usually determine it going into the game how we want to maneuver it. The backside tackle, his technique is read and react. Read and react. So his first step is a read step with his inside foot, and then he reacts. If there's nothing in the B gap, he's climbing to the second level. If there's somebody that moves to the B gap, he's blocking the B gap defender. But he's going to read and react. So he's got B gap to second level. When he gets to the second level, I have him blocking the inside number target. The reason I do that is I want him blocking for the handoff. I do not want him blocking for the quarterback. Sometimes they want to inside release and block and think they're sealing the guy, and the quarterback hands it off, and the linebacker's edging their block, making a play. So I like for him, like right here, 74 is going to try to fit the inside number right there. And you can see he's kind of waddling up, having pretty good demeanor, good read step. And again, we don't really block 40 here, but again, you don't have to. We're knocking the nose out of there, creating our run seam. 18 sitting there. We got to play. I know it pained Paul, but he did draft that guy right there. So he does have a Buckeye playing for him.
You guys only played 1 year of offensive line. You did an unbelievable job.
Thank you. So yeah, when I showed up in January, things were not in good shape in the offensive line. So I'm looking around going, who the hell's going to start for me? So I found him in the tight end room sitting over there as a second team tight end, weighing about 270, and we pulled him over into the O-line room and we gave him a little come to Jesus meeting. If you want to play past next year, you need to stay in this room. If you're good with your career ending, then you can just stay right in here. And he said, here's what you need to do. Gain 35 pounds and listen to everything I say and be in here all the time. And he did that and became a pretty decent player for us. He's a good athlete, and hopefully he can make some big contributions for the Bengals. So again, a lot of people in this 3-by set want to spin down strong because of some of the things we do passing game wise or some of the stretch plays that we run. So this zone read opens up here on the backside. For those who are from Cincinnati, that's Andrew Norwell. He went to Anderson High School. And somebody will pick him up next year. He'll be a pretty good player at the next level as well. So again, we've got them outnumbered. All right, let's look at this. I think this one now, this is where we're not going to double the nose. There's two things that are different. The Mike linebacker has widened his alignment. So we're going to work double 91 to 40, and we're just going to drive 47 by. So it's good to change it up. So that's why we like changing it up in there. Is now his rule, when the center doesn't have any presence on the nose, is the backside guard's just going to push the nose by. So you can see the nose expects to get double teamed here because we've been doing it. Now watch what happens. So that's a pretty easy block for your guard. And again, the tackle's working to the inside number there. This is why the tackle works inside number, because if we hand this ball off, that ball can still come out. It'll come right through. You've got the safety supporting for the quarterback, so if he did hand that off based on what the read tells him to do, the ball's going to come out. And so we like that. Here we just double pass the mic to the overhang player. So it's usually a strong safety or a nickel back. So we'll double the 6 outside. Now here the quarterback gets the pull read and he's on the perimeter. And we got a good play out here. Nice easy first down. So again.
Coach, what's your ending point for the guard on that shade? Are you just putting him on the near beat?
Yes.
Like it just turns into like a down block for you?
Yeah, but I don't really want to down block. I mean, I still want him to step. He's going to step flat, put his nose in the V of the neck, right in his ear hole, and just try to drive him by. Try to drive him by. All right? But I don't want him to think he's getting really down blocked on, but the influence of the center going away usually helps. All right, here the next phase of this is the little reliefs. We call these reliefs, meaning we can read, and if the end squeezes, then just throw the ball out. Why would you do that? Maybe your quarterback isn't a great runner. Maybe your quarterback's got the shit beat out of him and he doesn't feel good. He's hurting. So we have components in our offense where every zone read play isn't a zone read, it's zone and pass. And then this is something that we want to continue to get better at. But again, I don't care that much, but in the big scheme of things, that receiver is really happy at halftime catching one of those versus catching no passes. I know he gained 3 yards, but he has a little bit of, like, he got a ball, he was activated, he was used in the game. I don't really care, but for the big scheme of things, he feels really good about himself. So, because we may need him to make a play in the 3rd or 4th quarter, hit one over the top, and if he's moping around like they never throw me the ball here, then, you know. So having these little reliefs, as we call them, are good. So you can see right here, we're trying to double team. And again, they're waiting pretty late to come off. Actually, here, our left tackle, I would like for him to read out of this a little quicker because the linebacker has width on him. He really doesn't need to step down in there that hard. I'd like for him to get vertical on the first step. So we use that here again as the same idea. Get 3 receivers out here and use this little component to control it. All right, right here, the thing that's unusual is the left tackle. So let's just watch what he's doing. So he looks confused, but he's not. What we would tell him is if the first linebacker in the box backside of the ID, so this guy's the ID, I said middle of the three is the ID. If he's outside the defensive end, then we would tell him to sift. And sift means that he's going to use a shoulder forearm flipper and climb to the second level, and we would hand the ball off is what should happen here. That's not what's happening, but it should. But the quarterback sees the linebacker trigger, and so he's still going to throw the ball out. So what ends up happening is it goes from when we sift, because the linebacker starts out of the box, now we're actually reading this guy. Does that make sense? We're not reading the defensive end anymore. If the backer is not in the box, the quarterback knows that we'll sift him, and he'll read that linebacker. If that linebacker widens, he's handing it off. If that linebacker triggers, he's throwing it out. So those people that try to play that linebacker tainted, we have an answer for that. All right, the next component of this then is to bring a pitch back into play. And now all of a sudden you get on the edge, and that defender that could tackle your quarterback's now in a bind because you got a 2-on-1 fast break. And it's a bad day for the Hoosiers. So we just bring a wide receiver in and use him to be you don't have to bring him in and have him stop in the pistol. I mean, you could time it up where he just stays in motion, this and that, but nothing's changed for the offensive line here. But they were doing a pretty good job in this game of squeezing, and he was making the play on the quarterback. So we just added the third component, the triple option component. So in this game, that became a pretty good little addition. For the offensive line, it doesn't change anything. All right, now I'm going to give you some clinic talk. And this clinic talk is pretty good shit. It's real, but it's hard. And here's what it is. All right, so here's the answer to this scheme we're running. Squeeze, squeeze, scrape him, and have another guy sitting out here. So that's real. People get that. Pirates stunt these two, scrape the backer, and now you've got one sitting there and you got one more outside. Okay, beautiful. So what's the answer for that? Here's the clinic talk. The answer for that is that's why we call this technique at tackle read and react. So there's a whole series of things, and every day they do a 5-minute fundamental drill with me, and we do read and react. So he takes his read step. All right, the 3 technique disappears. He's going to climb to the second level, but if he feels that they're running the linebacker scrape stunt, he's supposed to lean back into the defensive end, and the quarterback's supposed to hand the ball off, and this is what's supposed to happen. All right, now he's not doing it. He's actually fitting the backer up because the end didn't squeeze quick enough. There's another clip on here where you'll see it, but there's the issue. If he were to sit down right there and block that defensive end with just a shoulder forearm, you hand the ball off and they have no one technically in the B gap. And there the guy couldn't make the play. So I wouldn't say the offensive line executed it there, but there's a clip in here. Hopefully we can show you where you'll see it, where the left tackle will actually do it. Right here. How good is that shit right there now, huh? That sumbitch right there is goring them. They got 3 guys standing out here for Braxton Miller, and that thing's going right up the chute. The only problem here is the center ducked his head a little bit and got out of control, because if he gets a better fit here, it comes out clean. That guy can't make the tackle on Hyde, but that is, we work on that. Read step, boom, sit down, right there, boom, you got to play. So what's good, that makes you feel good in coaching, because I work the shit out of that to get it 4 or 5 reps a year, but you get some pretty good plays out of it. The quarterback's read is that when he sees the defensive end collisioning the tackle, hand the ball off, because the defensive end can't get through our tackle's body to make the play. So if he sees that he's heavy contact into our tackle, he can hand the ball off because the defensive end can't make the play. So, see, there's not heavy contact there, so he's going to pull it. All right, let's move on to something else here. All right, close backside. So we got a tight end backside, read the backside defensive end. Same thing, the backside tackle never blocks the read key. Tight end handles the backside edge pressure. Da-da-da-da-da. All right, we're good. So what we mean here is we got a tight end backside. We like him in this alignment, but we can put him up on the ball a lot too. If you put him up on the ball, you'll space the read key. All right. So you space the read key when he's up on the ball. If he's off the ball, the read key tends to tighten, but his job's a little easier working to block the alley defender. All right. Offensive line is still using the same principles. It's just a little different count system because with the tight end front side, it's the middle of three starting it inside out. Here it's just first linebacker in the box. So right here, closes, quarterback pulls. And he's going to square up the alley defender there. Whoever that alley defender is, he squares him up. Now, I call him the alley defender. There's a count system. I mean, he knows that's the ID, so 2 past the ID is who he blocks. So, I mean, however you want to say it, whoever that son of a bitch is that gets in that alley, that's who he's blocking. But it's if you're talking count system, all he has to do is go, there's the ID, the center pointed to him. 1, who's the next dude outside? 1 to 2, whoever that guy is, that's who I block. And he's supposed to square him up, and the quarterback runs off him. He's not supposed to try to declare where the quarterback should go. That's a pretty good job by him squaring him up. I mean, you'd like for the quarterback to knife and take it right there. But again, you got to get the backer sealed. If you guys want the top view, but if you're like me, I don't watch the top view much. I don't really care, but I do care. But here's one that comes out the front door. The biggest thing that happens is front side shade. We're doing a pretty good job double teaming them out. Just got to watch how much left hand, left shoulder presence the left guard will have. And I didn't even talk about our technique here at tackle. The front side, open side tackle, he's an inside V, inside footwork technique. If the guy gets super wide, then he can use outside footwork, but he's still going to block the inside V. But the only way this guy gets a minus is if this guy beats him across his face. So he's just to protect the B gap. So he'll use inside footwork and block inside V. So you can see how he's stepping with his inside foot. You'll be like, that's what I'm telling him to do. So it's not bad. This is kind of a neat little thing we do right here. The wing tight end, watch him step down because we run some zone where we block this backside defensive end. We don't run zone read every play. And so if we want to block everybody in the box, well, there's enough we can block them all there. So he'll just come down and pick this guy off the backside. He'll just backside cut off C-gap. Well, we're going to make it look like we're doing that to make the end protect himself and squeeze a little bit. So watch he kind of influences him. Because what we're trying to do is we'd like to get this 4-3 guy on the edge every once in a while, so we're trying to get a pull read here. Unfortunately, they didn't buy it. All right, here we've got the tight end on the ball. And again, if they just stay shoulder square and squat, it's a give. Should be a give read. All right, we've got the influence. Let's just watch this. All right, this is the one that's become popular in the NFL. So the influence zone read. So we've got the tight end front side, and you can run zone on or off the ball. You've got the tight end back side, you can run zone. And then you've got him here, and then you can influence him. So a lot of people, I'm sure you guys do, a lot of you do, we do it. We run an inside zone where he comes back and he blocks the defensive end. We hand the ball off and, try to get ourselves 4.5, 5 yards. And so we like that little zone concept. Well, now we're going to influence him, wrap around and block the alley defender, and read that defensive end. And that's the play that the 49ers and the Washington Redskins are running the crap out of. And the reason they're doing it is they're protecting their quarterback. So if he pulls it, the first defender that's sitting there for him is blocked, and he's not getting lit up when he comes off the mesh. So this is the first play of the game against boys at Michigan State. You can watch 44 here. He acts like he's going to kick him out. Watch him. Defensive end says, "Oh, I'm going to wrong arm that." Well-coached defensive end. Yes, he was. Oops. My bad. And then we seal, and now we have a bonus blocker. So this is the first play of the game. So this is the kind of stuff that you're seeing show up the 49ers, like I said, the Redskins and that, because they like pretty athletic quarterbacks that they have. So we have the ability to run the zone read where the back, and I don't know if you guys noticed, we're not a pure pistol team, but we start in a pistol. So what do you think the reasons for that would be? Anybody got a thought as to why we would do that? No tendencies. Because those defensive pricks now, they got you schemed up. The back's offset here, you got this play and this play, that's all you got. So they load up, they give some scheme over here, and they got some over here. When you put that guy neutral like we do and then wait till the indicator and then jump him to his alignment, they can't get you schemed up with their stunts, twists, movements, all those little zone read beaters. So we've done that, and we like doing that. That's been good for us. And then we started in the spring here running a lot of pistol, just pure pistol. What's the downside of pistol? The downside of pistol is it hits just a little slower. The upside of pistol is you're always in a neutral alignment. So we tried to cheat and get the best of both worlds. We're going to start in pistol neutral alignment so they don't know what's going on. And then we're going to jump the back late so he can hit downhill and hit the thing quicker. Because I'm all for the quicker they hit it, the better we are. You know what I'm saying? I get the fact that my guys look really good when the back hits it really quick. The longer the back has it and the longer it takes to get the line of scrimmage, bad things can happen. So we're trying to hit that thing pretty quick. So that became our little deal this off season. Is to try to, not off season, but last season, and then we've been developing it, continuing to work it. All right, right here on our double team, the right guard's just got to be careful. He's got to make sure he comes off in time. Wouldn't you just like to kick that guy's ass? I mean, as a line coach, I mean, holy shit. The shit we got to coach, and you got to do one thing: block the freaking corner, please. As a man, there's no doubt if he's blocking that guy, it's gone, because none of those three are catching him. I mean, it ain't going to happen. So, but oh well, we'll throw him a 3-yard hitch, and he'll be happy. All right, so you get the end again. All right, tight end wraps, seals it. So now you got a pretty good situation here. You got your quarterback one-on-one with your safety. Boom. Safety makes a nice play here. They have a really good safety, good tackler. I think the kid's from St. Vincent, St. Mary's. So. Now, one of the things that happens, as you guys know, when you run this play, if you run zone or you run this zone read with the tight end front side working backside, is you get backdoor linebackers, right? Well, that's what we call them. We call them backdoor linebackers. So any play that is going to give us backdoor linebackers, that's part of the teaching progression as we teach this play. So it's tight zone for us, the rules of our tight zone, our aiming points, our targets. But they have to understand that this double team is not going to be the guard coming off. This double team, because we're running a scheme where the linebackers will backdoor, the center is going to come off. So for me, that's a cage block. All right, so we call that cage. Doubling, center and guard, doubling to the ID. If we're getting a play, if we call a play that has backdoor linebackers built into it, that's called a reverse cage. So that's how we teach it. So you got a cage and a reverse cage. All right, does everybody get that? So that's how our guys understand. So this play has a name, and that name triggers, okay, it's tight zone. What's my rules for tight zone? Okay, beautiful. Oh, but it's backdoor linebackers, so all of our double teams are going to be backdoor double teams. So, okay. Does that make sense? So I'm just telling you what the problem is going to be before, if you want to run that, because it's very popular. The problem is the backers track the tight end. And so you have to be ready, because then you'll be like, the coach will be like, why didn't we block the linebacker? Well, your center and guard are always double teaming, and the guard's coming off, the guard's coming off, the guard's coming off. Well, on that play, the center's got to learn to come off. So reverse cage is, it's got to be 2 hands by the guard. Play side guard's got to 2-hand block it. And the center's just got to go 1 hand, and keep his inside arm and inside pad free. All right, and then this is the last thing in the zone read game. I just got a couple minutes. The flash, the fast stretch play, and that's become real popular. And there's a lot of different concepts off of that, but we're running a flash, and we're just changing up who's running inside zone. Now the quarterback is going to run inside zone if he keeps it, and the back's running out in the perimeter, where the typical zone read or the first zone read concepts were all quarterback on the perimeter. So it's a flat back. We're going to read the end. We're going to seal the box with the tight end. We're inside zone here, and he reads that end. If the end sits there, hand the ball off, we get the ball in the perimeter. If the end runs up the field, the quarterback's running inside zone. Okay? Let's look at it real quick just to get a couple peeks of it. So that's what you're trying to get. You're trying to get the ball on the perimeter. All right, there's one free hat. They're a quarters team, so they're bringing him down. Our back's got to beat him one-on-one, but he's got to fit it up and make the play. But let's look at this view. Let's say this end gave the quarterback a read to keep it. We got a pretty good run seam here. If our quarterback pulled it and kept it, he would come right out to the safety right there. I mean, we're in pretty good shape because you're displacing everybody with the flat back. All right, I know this pains you, but I got to show it because this helped us win the game. So again, we're running the end squeezes, the ball's on the perimeter, we seal it up. We got everybody blocked. They're playing quarters, we push crack, the quarter's safety. So you got 245-pound tailback on that corner. I think everybody knows that's a pretty good deal because that guy didn't sign the scholarship paper saying, I really want to tackle backs like that. He's doing it to, as we all know, cover people, and he doesn't tackle them. And there aren't many corners at anywhere that want any part of that. I mean, and so it's a good little concept to get the ball on the perimeter. All right, just for our sake, the way that the team up north was playing this thing, they were going to buzz down the free safety weak. With the back there, we're a zone read team. With the back there, they were bringing the safety down for the quarterback to pull and run here. We're running flat back, so we went +1 on our ID on this. So in other words, the center is an ID in this guy. The center is really ID in that guy on the zone part. Now, the way they played it, the center had to take him, but you can see the tackle knows that we're +1. The tackle's not even worried about that linebacker, which really in our normal zone, the tackle should zone to that linebacker. We're +1 in this in our count because they're spinning down. So that's just something that, I don't know if that makes sense. So like in this game, when we ran this play, we just told them the ID, or when the center IDs, it's +1. So. Yeah, so we're just leaving him for the tight end.
So you start to count that?
Yeah. So he would walk up and he would point to this individual right here and say, that's who we're, normally the center guard are working to the ID, the first linebacker in the box, but after he points to him, the call told him, we're really not working to him, we're going +1 to him, and then, does that make sense? So that's what they're doing, and it works out because we got a hat on everybody. Because right now, if he gets that guy blocked, if he adjusts better and block the safety, it's out because that guy missed it. But that's who makes it 11 right there.
And what's the line with you guys? Sometimes I see you split the guys. Outside line, sometimes it's the gap.
Yeah, it varies. On the flat back, it's wider. When it's tight zone and he's running downhill, cheek of the center, I mean, he's supposed to split the crotch, but here he's a little bit wider. All right, so he's foot to foot. So I need to wrap up here, but you can see they're going +1, like he's not even worried about him. Because if the quarterback pulls it, he's running here. All right, and this guy has to respect the flat sweep, so we have the tight end sealing it. So, all right, real quick, I'll close then. So 44 years I've played and coached. This is my philosophy. I'll give you this if you don't care, but I'm into this kind of stuff, so hopefully you are too. The player always comes first. All right? Take care of your players, they'll take care of you. So that's, if you say I come first, you're in the wrong business. This is a simple game made complicated by coaches. We make this thing complicated. Keep it simple. Don't tell them more than they need to know. Tell them what they need to know. Keep it simple, stupid. Give more than you take. I hate the guy who shows up at the job and the first thing he's doing is looking for the next job. Looking for the next job, looking for this. What do I get out of this? How much gear do I get? What kind of dealer car do I get? That's all they want to know is what dealer car, how much gear they get, where's their country club membership. Some guys. Go win some games. Go get some players drafted. Go get some guys. And then you get all kinds of good stuff. When you do a really good job and your players play really well, the shit comes. I'm just telling you. When you do really well and your players play well, you get all kinds of goodies. You get everything you want. Give more than you take. Leave it better than you found it. I've moved around a lot. I'm not going to kid. I've moved around. But I promise you, in my heart, I honestly believe I never left a place that wasn't in better shape when I walked out the door than when I got there at my position. And if you do that, then you have no regrets about leaving and moving on. Common sense isn't common because people don't use common sense. Don't make it too simple. So just keep it simple. Use common sense. You don't have to call 7 people to figure shit out. Just sit down and think it through. Big plays come through the execution of proper fundamentals. They don't come because we out-schemed them. They come because our guys were fundamentally sound. If you convince your players, if they use great fundamentals, that play will go and it'll be a big play. That's how you get big plays, is fundamentals, not draw up another fucking. How many plays can you have? Make practice more challenging than the game. So we try to give them a lot of stress in practice, and they all feel like, at least where I coach, I give them more than they get in the game, and they think the games are easier than practice. Fit the system to the players, not the coach. So I've coached 6 or 7 different systems. I adjust to the players and the system and make it fit. And then fundamentals and communication is what the definition of coordination is. You want to coordinate the run game, then coordinate communicating with fundamentals, and you'll be fine. Or whatever you're coordinating. So those are my little nuggets. It was awesome to be here. I hope that there was something there that you got that helped you. At the bottom here, my intern Rick is here. Rick helps me. I wouldn't survive. I wouldn't be where I'm at without Rick. If you want a drill tape, O-line drill tape, not that tape. I can't give you that tape. If you want our O-line drill tape, 31 years of coaching, all the drills we do, the things we work on in season, off season, you email Ricky and you take care of Ricky, because Ricky is a non-paid intern. He is not on salary. And he'll hook you up with a drill tape. Take care.
And if you ever get a Baylor film, you put it on there, and guys are running all over the place and playing hard, and they got good lines. So I'm sure he's got some great stuff to give us tonight. Randy.
Thank you, guys. Everybody hear me okay? I'm just enjoying being up here, watching all this. I've always watched the DVDs, and this is actually my first time coming up here. So the room looks smaller in the DVDs that I was watching, but really excited to be here. I'm an old high school coach, and getting older by the day, but I've been working with Coach Briles, our head coach, for most of my career, and the thing I think that's helped me over the years is my high school roots, and the fact that when you're in high school you don't get to recruit or you don't get to draft who you want to fit your system. So you have to adapt. So if you got a good throwing quarterback that year, then you're going to some spread offense college and you're sitting in there and you're watching them. If you got a runner at QB, then you're going to some option team and looking at them. So it gives you, you have to do what you have to do to survive. And, I think we carry that over somewhat today at Baylor. Okay. Coach Briles, he was one of the, and anybody knows Texas high school football, he was one of the first guys to really spread the ball around. Okay. He's an old wishbone guy. And back then the wishbone was, if you want to spread it out, okay, the tight end, he lined up over here this time, but that was the extent of it. Or they, maybe they only put 2 backs in the backfield. But, he was one of the first guys to do it. And back then, when I first started working for him in high school there, especially in West Texas, if you were innovative defensively, you were a 4-man front. Okay, and you were 4-3. That was you were up to date. The guys that were still playing the old school 50D, dealing with option and wing T and stuff like that. Coach Briles had a saying. He said, "If they 5, we 5." Meaning that we were going to go empty. If they were going to run some 50 type deal, and put a D end out there trying to cover a receiver, and that was kind of the first. First thought of spreading the ball for me. He hired me really out of college. I went to Stephen F. Austin there, and played under Jim Hess, and learned a lot of stuff there in my first few years. We'd motion guys out of the backfield in order to lighten the box and run. And everybody always asks, Coach, we're looking at y'all's films, and your split, your wide out, he's about 8 inches from the sideline. What's up with that? Or your inside receiver, he's almost to the numbers. What's up with that? It ain't hard to figure it out. The wider they are, the more space you got inside to run the football. Okay, and that's where we're at. Okay, we spread the ball to run the ball. All right, and that's what I'm talking about today. Okay, I used to have the co-coordinator title, and then last year coach demoted me, but he gave me a raise, so that was all. I guess it was the equal out. But he made me the run game coordinator this year, which didn't change anything on what I did anyway. The thing I think that makes us a little bit unique, and we talk about this, everybody's wanting to run tempo, and we certainly practice tempo and we run tempo, but you got to be physical in doing that, okay? And if you're not careful, running tempo for you on offense can be just as bad as it is for the defense, because if your guys don't get down the stance, they don't come off, take a good first step, they don't strike, all this stuff that Coach was just talking about, well then, it's counterproductive, okay? So, you can't, when you're doing an up-tempo offense, you can't use it as a crutch, okay? But if you are going to do it, you have to practice it, and you have to rep it, and you have to work it. And I think we do a pretty good job of that, okay? Just a couple of things here. We try to run a lot of plays during the game, all right? And these are our stats from the last 2 years. These are our ranks as far as the qualifying conferences or whatever you want to call them, okay? Try to be pretty balanced, all right? Pretty balanced for our run and our pass. Most of the time, it's a little bit misleading because we'll call more runs, but, because of, distance reads or whatever, we'll end up, the quarterback will make a now throw, okay? But it ends up being pretty equal there, okay? Tempo, in 2011, that was the year we had Robert Griffin. We were 77 plays a game this year. This past year we were a little bit more, 82.5. The thing down at the bottom, we had, our average TD drive was 2 minutes in 2011, and then minute 59 last year. Okay, so we try to get it going. Once you move the chains, we feel like we can establish the tempo, catch the defense off balance, try to hit a big play in there, and get it down the field pretty quick. The best I think we ever were. We were in the 2011 Alamo Bowl. And we had I think our first touchdown drive was 13 plays in 1 minute and 48 seconds, I think it was. So that's moving pretty good, okay? But you have to practice that, and you're not always sharp, okay? I mean, you're not always going to be sharp because it's just the way it is. It's just a trade-off. But you don't want to sacrifice effort or technique. We have a couple of things that we start practice with as a group. We call this OTB, all right, off the ball is all we do, all right? We just line up and we call plays on the air. As soon as the ball snaps, then the linemen, their job is to get set, okay? So the ball is going to be set by a manager over here. My pointer ain't working. But the manager's going to set the ball, linemen sprint up to the ball, get set, all right? Next play we're running, okay? And we'll work the ball all the way down the field. Thank you, sir. All right, we'll do that all the way down the field. And then the next thing that we'll do this against the defense. Now, this is what we call first, second down. Okay, this is our only chance really to work tempo against the defense, because the defense, you know how they are, right? They're bitching like, is this guy on or off the line of scrimmage? And, they want to get set before you ever run a play. Well, we say, okay, first, second down, hey, it is what it is. So if we make 8 yards on first down, it's 2nd and 2. If we make nothing, it's 2nd and 10, okay, whatever it is. And then we'll line up and do our tempo. And that's how we practice that, all right? We do that during the season at least once a week. During the spring, we'll do it more. And it's just, it's kind of it's a thud period if you want to call it. But it's more of a, get lined up, recognition by the defense, because, in our league, there's a lot of guys that are running up-tempo offenses, no doubt. no doubt. Okay, the drills that we do every day, all right? Now, I think it's important if you're running a spread offense, okay, and you're running an up-tempo offense, you can't give your guys too much because there's not enough time to process it, okay? There's not enough time. So, you only give them 4 or 5 things to do, and, you can ask anybody that's ever watched this, we don't run that many run plays, okay? The techniques the guys are doing are repetitive, but if you do them well, what does it matter, right? Let me go back to that slide there. A couple of things that we'll talk about on these practice deals, okay? And Coach was just talking about them here, but some of the things, I call them a little bit different. One of the things I talk about all the time is a power position, okay? And we always talk about it as an athlete, the most powerful you ever are, okay? Like if you're lifting in the weight room, what exercise is it? Help me out. Somebody tell me. Squat, right? Okay, that's when you're going to lift the most weight. Okay, so if that's when we're the most powerful, we want to duplicate that as much as we can. Okay, so the position that you're in when you squat, feet a little wider than shoulder width. My feet are flat on the ground. My knees are bent. My chest is out. My back's arched. My head is up. Shoulders are back. All that stuff. That's a powerful position, and we want to do it whether it's run or whether it's pass as much as we can. Okay. When we move our feet, we always talk about knee up, toe up. Okay, we want to drive from the hip. All right. So if I pull my knee up and my big toe comes with it, when that foot comes down, it's going to hit flat with all my cleats in the ground, which is what we want. Posture, power position, and then the hands. Always elbows in, thumbs up. Elbows in, thumbs up. All right. Okay, this is our practice starter every day. We'll put, we got PVC pipes, they're portable. We'll put them over everything. If we do it on boards, you'll see it here in a minute. Here they're over the, what I did. Okay, I got it. All right, so here we put them over the ropes and we're just stomping it through, all right? We want to stay low. We're looking at the head there. We don't want them ducking under the PVC chute and all that stuff. We want their cleats banging in the ground there. And it's just a good thing to start practice with every day, all right? And then we'll come back and we'll go change the direction in the ropes. This is just, working on change and then extending my base on the change, okay? So working right, and then when I come back to the left, extending with that left foot. Keeping my elbows in, keeping a powerful position. I want to see a big number in the screen when we're looking at this. Went too far. All right, here we go. You can see him, he's a little bit bent over right there compared to the first guy. Okay, second guy pretty good. Third guy pretty good. Fourth guy good. Fifth guy too high. That guy right there real good. Real talented too. He'll be a guy a bunch of guys want next year. But you get the idea. And then we'll come back and we'll do it backwards, okay? The whole thing on the backwards is not to look at the ropes, all right? The ropes are down on the ground. Don't worry about it. If you're picking your knee up and your toe up, you won't hang them on the ropes, okay? If you get lazy and start pushing off with your toe, then you'll snag it in the ropes and you'll fall on your face or your ass. Okay, next thing we got, we'll do a partner drill. All right, I've kind of changed this a little bit. When we partner up now, it's more of a, we call it a tip-to-tip drill against your partner, and you're putting your hips in there to stop him, okay? Is that politically incorrect? I don't know. I hope not. Hope that doesn't land me on paper or something. And we'll actually, right now, well, this is a couple springs ago, we'll lock it up when we do it. I got to hear the feet in the turf right here. I got to hear the feet clicking, hitting the ground flush. And then, you always got to watch out for one guy that, doesn't finish the drill right here, okay? You got to finish the drill. You finish your drives, you got to finish the drill. All right, run through. Run through, the last thing on there is just running through the ropes. You know, as an old lineman, you do all this stuff. Let me get back to it. Okay. You do all this stuff, but you know, sometimes you forget how to be an athlete. Okay, so we just do a run through the ropes. You know, doesn't matter how many steps we get in or whatever. We just you know, just don't forget how to be an athlete. Okay, in the spread offense. All right, how many double teams are you going to have on one running play? Typically, unless you got a tight end, how many are you going to have? Anybody know? At the most 2, right? If you're working to the under, all right. If not, then you're just mainly working with 1. Okay. You know, so you know, we work a lot of single blocks. Okay, and because half the time, you know, 3 of those 5 guys are on single blocks, so we'll do a bunch of that. On the single block, what do we want? We want at least a stalemate. Okay, movement is a premium, but we want a stalemate. All right, we're big on 2 steps, hands in, hips in, cancel your guy out. Okay, and then when we get to combo blocks, you know, there's 2 types of combo blocks to us. There's either A, where we want to get vertical push, vertical movement, give the running back a 2-way go. B, where we're trying to create an angle to the backer. Okay, and you know, we'll call the vertical movement one, we call that a power combo. We'll call the angle to the backer, we'll call it a post combo. All right. When we do the boards, this is the single blocks, the drills that we do for those. When we do the boards, we do them in tempo, okay? We'll take 4 reps before we change men, all right? So the guy that's on the other side of the board, you know, he has to hustle up too, all right? So we'll do a zone right, he'll run back, get set. Zone left, run back, get set. Stretch right, run back, get set. Stretch left, run back and get set. And this is just to, you know, emphasize, hey, doing your technique with pace, okay? And, you know, if you try to do the up-tempo and you're not working it like this, you're going to have a hard time because you guys are going to get gassed pretty quick. Always work on extending the base, whichever way we're going. We'll always talk about striking on 2, second step, hands and hips, all right? We always want to rip the offside hand for leverage. We always say offhand low for leverage, okay? And that kind of goes to those hands-in technique we just heard. All right, this is zone to the left right here, okay? We're just pounding the ground, and then we're going to roll our hips as soon as we clear the chute right there. These guys were pretty young when they did this, but just, you know, work on speeding your feet up. Now, if you look at 78 right here, I had him playing center, and this was his first year. He was a tackle originally. I lost my pointer, Coach. Where'd it go? Where? Okay.
Put it in your pocket.
Oh, there it is. Okay, thank you. There's a snake that bit me. But you see 78, he's got the cuffs on, okay, and my cuffs are just like, you know, game belts that are taped up so their hands are in here. But, you know, one of the main reasons I started doing it was to help him get out of his, is it going? There. Yeah, you can't really sit.
I'll get it.
All right. But watch 78. It takes him a little bit to get out of his stance and going right there. There you go. Thank you. And put the cuffs on there to help him get out of his stance because, you know, being a center, he can't have a bunch of gyrations trying to get out of his stance because he's got to snap the ball. All right, working zone right here. You know, you want that offhand low, ripping up right there, hips in. He's cuffed up again, going to the right. See how long and slow it is? And a lot of it's because he's just like this right here. So the more we worked on it, the faster he got. You know, by the end of the year, he wasn't bad. See how his left elbow comes out right there, all right? You know, we don't want that. I call it a chicken wing, okay? We want elbows in, thumbs up, ripping up, pushing up. You look at the freshman over here, 58, all right? He's much better right there. That's more of what we want. Okay, another run drill that we do, we just call this 2-step pop. And, you know, we're just working on taking 2 steps, getting our hands and hips in, and then we're moving down. This is a good way to get a lot of guys involved, you know, because one thing about Coach Browse, and my staff, offensive staff in particular, they think that we can just go out and play. Okay, I mean, let's just go out and play. It's just football. What's the big deal, you know? And I said, well, I need a little bit of individual time, Coach. And he's like, all right, you got 10 minutes here, and then after break, you got 10 more minutes, okay? That's it, all right? So I'm on my own for 20 minutes a day, okay? And Coach's point is, you know, if we can run 13 plays in minute 48, how many drills should you be able to get in 10 minutes, all right? Get after it, okay? So there you go. That's it, all right? So I gotta be selective. There's certain things I do every day, but then I gotta pick and choose, you know, what are we weak on, you know, here or there. I try to hit everything at least once a week, all right? But this is a good drill. It involves everybody, and, you know, we get some reps. Now you watch this kid right here. I love him. Bless his heart, he hurt his ACL this spring. Good player. But his second step is always long. So I created this torture device, you'll see in a minute, to punish him, okay? But he's a good player, good kid. But we're always working on that second step being a lot shorter than what he likes to take it. All right, we'll do that. We'll do that both ways. All right, then we'll come back, we'll do, now this is a little bit out of order. We'll stay on the boards until we finish the boards. This is stretch right, stretch left. Our stretch, most of it, if it's pure stretch, it's done off of tempo. Sometimes we'll just call the stretch. Most of the time we'll just line up and run it. You know, we want an offhand rip right here. In our second step, we call it knee to nuts angle, okay? So however wide or tight your guy is, that's how long or short your second step is. We're always wanting to rip that offside hand. In this case, it's a right hand rip, low for leverage. This is what I'm talking about. So watch the second step right. See how far upfield? I need it a lot shorter than that. Going the other way, make sure they extend the base, make sure they're striking on the second one, ripping up right there. Okay, next one is a white block. Okay, we call a white block the inside step on the front side of the zone, all right, or zone type plays done by the tackle or the guard if he's got a 3 technique. Coaching points on that. Your first step is going to be flat inside. Your second step is going to be into the D line. If you get turned, let the D lineman turn you. Okay, you don't turn yourself. And then you want to rip your outside hand, get it inside for leverage. We angle the boards right here, so this way is going to be a right. This will be like he'll be like a right guard on a 3 technique right here. Left, right step. Hips in on 2. Got to rip the right hand right here. Get your leverage. Now you see how they're working back. The guys behind them are flipping the boards. They're coming back. They're down set. They're ready to run the next one. That's too long right here by him, right here. That's too long. Keep it shorter than that. Second step into, that was good. Okay, going the other way. This time it's right, left, ripping the left hand. Good. The guy on the far side over here needs to rip his hips, roll his hips a little bit better than that. Then the other thing, this is the block that it seems like a little simple thing, but it'll get you beat more than anything, the underblock. The underblock for us is a way to cut off penetration if we're running the power to an A-gap technique. You know, if we're doing like Coach Browse likes to call it block down. He said, what's so hard about it? Just block down. That's his answer to everything, you know. So we're blocking down here, all right? Key on it, we're cutting off penetration. So if this is the left tackle and that's a 3 and I got to cut him off, I got to extend that base right there. Okay, I've got to rip this offside hand. I got to clack the helmet with my helmet. And work it down the board just so we'll keep a base. And that second step, if I take a good first step, I'll take a good second step. If I take a shitty first step, my second step will be too long and I'll be crossed over with no power. And I'll be high too. And like I said, we do all these at tempo. They're coming back ready to get the next one right now. And we try to get this offhand. It's a little bit unnatural feeling, but you want to try to get the offhand, somewhere in that neighborhood, at least on the fat part of them. Don't get it up on the pad. See, that's too high right there. Offhand up on the pad, he'll slip that. Okay, this is the thing we probably coach the most on, right? During the season, and we do some blasphemous things as far as line coaches are concerned. But during the season, we quit doing inside drill. Okay, just because of risk of injury, just because the defense was bitching about we don't do what the opponent does and all this stuff. So, okay, we quit. We just started looking for other ways to be physical against each other without having the whole group in there getting rolled up and that type thing. Bear cage, okay, it's just a one-on-one drill. It's like, a man-on-man drill. You put a bag behind them. We're striking on two, ripping the hands, rolling the feet. Rolling the hips, excuse me. And, we're always trying to get our second steps in the ground. D-line, they're just coming across, trying to get separation, get off to the back. And see, this kid is too long, too slow right there. Got to get that second one in. Did a good job of rolling his hips, but because he's slow, he got raised up. It's a good job right there. This is that white block, a little bit long with his inside step. Great job with his outside hand ripping up right here. Hips are in right there. Remember on the single blocks, cancel him out. Okay, stalemate is great. Movement's a bonus. Okay, now at the center, and some of you guys probably got a better idea about this than I do. But when you get a zero nose, I always, I didn't want to give up any ground, okay, because, I felt like it just dicks everything up. But what I found out, and the kid that went to the Broncos, J.D. Walton, he was the center for us. He was real stubborn about it, and I just quit coaching on it because it was working for him. But then I got to thinking about it. It's right. If I got a zero shaded nose on me, and if I step flat this way, and he comes into me, my second step can't help but go negative. Okay, so we started coaching more of a negative on that first right there, and then the second one into him, and it worked a lot better for us. We held our ground a lot better. Double teams were a lot cleaner when we got against the odd front. See, that's too long. He's trying to do the negative right there, but that's way too deep. Just got to be a lot quicker than that. One, two, kind of a hop, not bad though. Got his hands in right there, hips in, cancel him out. Now, the thing in all our run game, all right, and when we cancel a guy out, not to give up penetration because we don't want any dramatic cuts in the backfield. All our cuts want to be made square shoulders with speed, and if we do that, we'll always make yards. Even if we leave somebody on the second level unblocked, we'll always make yards. That's a better job by him getting his second foot in the ground right here. Not as high right there. You just clean his elbows up a little bit right there. See how he's chicken winged right there, right? Elbows in, elbows in. All right, this is a classic example right here. This kid's doing a white block. Watch his inside hand loop. The kid in front of him is about 6'7" with tree-like arms, so he's going to get off this block pretty easy. It's not bad right here. Negative on the first one, flat on the second one. Pretty good job. That's real good right there. 1, 2 in the ground, hands in, roll the hips. That's what we want right there. Good job. Just got to cut it down a little bit. Be in good shape. This kid's really, he's really good at this. 1, 2. Good job rolling the hips. Elbows are in. Going to get movement right there. Good job. But you can see. But you can see, we'll just take that drill, and I'll spend as much time as anything coaching individual stuff on just tape on that drill right there. Nothing against Mr. Gilman, wherever he's at, but we got Gilman sleds and we work those every day. But I love this drill right here for our combos. Okay, these are the drills that we work for our combos. This is a Crowther, the old car hood sled, very versatile. You know, we're going to take our 2 steps, we're going to roll our hips, we're going to lift the sled, and we're going to extend our base on the exit, and then the guy that's holding it up, you'll see it, he's got to speed his feet up so he can hold it up by himself. So right here we're acting like, let's say that this is the center right here, this is the right guard, so I'm saying he's got a G shade right there, and we're running zone to that side. So right there, second step, we're going to strike. We're going to roll our hips. We'll do that once. We'll do it twice. And then we'll work on exit right here, okay? So coach is acting like he's the linebacker. He's coming off, so then the guy left on the sled has got to speed his feet up, get his hips in, hold it up, hold it up, hold it up, hold it up. Now we put weights in the car hood of it just to keep it from being so light. All right, there's my big stepper right here, 75. See how long? We just got to shorten that up a little bit. But that's just like zone, inside zone to the left, and we're going on the 3 technique right here. Good job overemphasizing the hips right there. Good. Hips are in, sleds up. It's easy to hold. But we'll try to hit this every day, at least twice a week. Okay, we'll work 2-man exit. That's on the little Gilman sled. This is our 2nd level drill. Okay, so when we're exiting the double team, we want to make sure we extend our base, tuck our near shoulder to the guy so we can have leverage, and don't step under ourselves getting over there. This isn't a very good rep. Let me get back. All right, we'll work near step and exit, and we'll work zone step and exit. This is a near step and exit, okay? So he's giving a near step, near hand punch, flat exit. When he gets there, we want to strike, hands in, roll the hips, run our feet. Good. Okay, I was going to show you one. All right, this is zone step and exit, so we'll scoot inside and do it. 2nd step, punch. Then we're coming off the front side of the inside zone there up to the back. It's a good job. Second step, cut it down. Not too bad there. See how his offhand is ripped for leverage right there. So if he keeps that shoulder tucked right there, now he crossed over a little bit right after he hit right there. But if he just, you know, stays disciplined with that foot, that's a clean block. All right, now this is the torture device. I've made it for 75. So when he gets to stepping too long, it's a little piece of tubing with a piece of PVC pipe on there to keep his base right. They hate it, but you know, I threaten them with it, and most of the time that's enough. But you can see how it, you know, speed them up. Okay, then we'll do half line. What's the purpose of half line for us? It's a way to be physical. It kind of takes the place of inside drill. You know, for the D line, it's just block recognition is all it is. We don't even have a back when we do it. Right tackle's doing a white block, right guard and center, they're doing a combo. 73 is no longer with us. And then we were breaking in a new center too. You can see that. Here we're working the backside of the power. So center's working what I call a near step. This is a crush block for us by the left tackle right here. He's taking 2 in on the 3 technique, coming back for the defensive end right there. And then the guard, he's just pulling on there. Now this kid right here, he's a walk-on kid, pretty good technique guy. Extend your base right here and then really get your hips in when that guy starts to fight pressure. And you'll hold the block right there. This is a zone lead deal. We'll do it out of a tight end. We'll wrap the backside of the zone. So white block by the right tackle right there. Tight end's coming around leading up. And then the guard here, he's getting beaten. This is a tough block. All you got to do, all we want that guy to do when he's got a G by himself is just keep him flat. Don't let him get up in the backfield, and you know, don't keep us from cutting with speed. Okay, right here, this is actually the front side of the power. The tight end, he's doing a white block, very bad job. You see how we want to step in, you know, he's totally stepping around the dude. We got to step into him on our second step. That's just as bad by the D end right there. Good job on the under block by the left tackle right there though, hitting the hip, getting movement right there. The guard, he ought to come off of it. And then the same thing right here. They get a little separated right here, right? Watch though, this one's not as good by the left tackle, because watch his first step here. Steps under right there, so it totally turns. Now second step's going to cross over, so when he hits, doesn't have the same power, and then there's that separation between the two right here that you don't want. First step will lead to a good second step. Anybody guess how much he weighs? Anybody want to guess? His shoe size is 21, so that might give you a clue. He's probably, I don't know, I'd like to be kind and say 409, but it may be close to 420 since he's been off for a week. About 6'7". He did it as an 18-year-old on his 225 rep test. He did it 41 times, I think. Project. If you take it on a project, you might as well take a big one, right? All right, this is just stretch right here. Really working this block right here between the, you know, on a 7 technique under front, trying to work the tight end up to the safety, the linebacker, whoever shows first. You know, this is what I call a near and off. So we did that on the green sled, the little green right here, okay, with the left guard into him, then coming off right there, working the second level. Center's really got to drop and rip right there. He took that little short step, needs to come on with it. All right, this is just front side of the zone right here. So it's a white block, bad white block by this left tackle. He should be 1 in flat, and then second step into him. He takes a hop right here. Great job on the movement on the double team. Okay, so we're going to go over, just look at some clips and look at some of the things we're doing. Look at some of the things we're doing, talking about practicing, you know, these single block techniques, these combos, and look at them in live situations here. First one's inside zone. And you know, so you know how it is. I mean, some our inside zone over the year averaged 3.4 yards a carry. Okay, that's not great, but it is what it is. You know, I mean, you're going to bang it, you're going to bang it, you're going to bang it. Now, if you throw the quarterback read and stuff like that in there, it gets a little bit better. But we're working 2 double teams up to the backers right here. You 2 guys got those 2. You 2 got those 2. The boxer's right. We're going to block the backside in. No read involved right here. Should be a good play. Right tackle lets his feet die a little bit. And then the front side double right here. Okay. He's got to stick this longer. Okay, this time the front's, it's like an odd front here, shaded, okay? So we're just going to cover and climb over here on this side over here. If there's another threat, then he will work to that guy, okay? If there's nobody out here, then he'll cover and climb right there. You need to climb quicker, you almost got sniped. Okay, you watch the right tackle right here. Not bad, just aiming points a little bit off when the guy, the guy's a little quicker than he is right there. Missed a little bit, and so if the back has it and the end's not crashing, it's going to be a dramatic cut for the back, which is what we don't want. Simple read by the quarterback, end turns shoulders. It's easy for you. You pull the ball. All right, this is inside zone versus the odd front that's shaded. All right, so this is a zone step and exit by the center right here, okay? He's right, left, into him, and he's exiting. Got his head down a little bit. But he's playing fast, and we always tell the guy, second level, you play fast. You may not get him, but if he jukes you, he's not going to make the tackle, okay? At least we hope not. So right there, the guy's getting out of his way. That's fine. Back's got the ball, getting north and south, square up field, making yards. Different defenses, different fronts. It's all about, who's got quarterback, who's got dive. They want the 3 technique on the side of the back, or they want the G on the side of the back. It just depends on who you play, what their plan is. This inside zone on the left. Working for a good double team on the left side there, between the center and the left guard. Not sure what that backer is doing over there. Nothing that indicates pass for him. But if the ball carrier does have the ball, we're in good shape. Right tackle just got to shorten the second step right there. Play fast, play low. Good job by the right guard just keeping that flat, that inside guy flat. Okay. Okay, inside zone on the left again. Now you'd like for the back to go, we tell him to get square. He's supposed to square up behind the center. Okay, he's a little bit off here so he doesn't see it. It's right here. It's really out the gate. Good job once again by the left guard. Getting his hips in, canceling the guy out. You don't argue too much with the back if he's got some wiggle to him. All right, right here, this is our this is inside zone, but with a man call, okay? So we're getting 10 personnel. They're going to go to a 4-1 box. No sense in reading anybody, right? So we're just going to block them all. Now, when we block them, we tell them we're going to block the guys we're supposed to block, okay? The guys that play the run are the 4 D linemen and the 2 backers, and if there's a safety involved, we'll block him. But it's got to be the run safety. We'll pick who it is before the game, and that's who we'll target. White block by the left guard right here, hips in, cancel it out. It's a good job. Nice job climbing on the combo. Pretty productive play for us, really. Nice job. Now you watch the center right here. He's going to hit the hip on the exit. This is something that we always talk about. Okay, if you really want to get the movement, exit violently and try to hit the hip on the exit right there. Now you're asking what is he doing? Okay, and we switched to the back. Okay, but what they're doing, they were twisting away from the back. So we got a little crush technique by the tackle right there. In case they do twist, we'll trade it off. But nice job by the center and left guard right here getting the movement. Same look. You watch the center right here, he gets his shoulders turned, oversteps a little bit. Just keep it short, keep it square so you can get up with power right there. Nice job, hips in right here, hips in right here, hips in right here. He had them in, lost them there at the end. Here's an example of the twist away from the back. So we're doing the crush technique by the left tackle right here, and he's going to overtake that, and then the guard's just going to climb. Center's overstepping to just a hair right there. You got to keep it short. Same deal, other side, or same side, I guess. All right, we'll get to zone lead. This is just zone on the front side, a man on the back side, lead with the tight end, fullback, whatever you want to call him. Real productive play for us, especially against a 4-2 box. You get a hat for a hat. We'd always like that. Now, we always tell my guys, get some splits and don't step too big because they'll step on each other like that right there. Makes you look bad. Same play, just different look out of the backfield. So these guys are working inside zone to the left, working up to him, white block by him, white block right here. Tight end's got backside backer on it. Now you see what happens to the right guard right here. His guy's on the inside penetration. He's trying to get his hips in. Didn't strike him quite good enough. But you see the back, stayed patient, didn't have a dramatic cut. Good job by him. Okay, right here, real good job recognizing the front by the left guard. Sees his backer outside. You notice the numbers on the backers right here, 13, 25. When we run the powers, I'll show you. But real good job knowing that he's out here, so he'll help here until he sees that guy come in and he'll come off. Good job. All right, we'll work, here's the powers right here. Love running the power. Okay, I know a bunch of guys in here are probably good, a lot better at coaching it than I am, but I love running it. It's a great play for us. Allows us to be physical, establish something. You know, power for us is all about getting movement. We're running it over here on the left side. We're going to get a kick right here. You watch the slot right here. He's going to go straight ahead for his kick, okay? It's a great job by the left guard and left tackle. Okay, now this is what we would call a post exit right here, okay? The post exit because, you know, this is a safety, these are the two backers, we want to block the two backers. So it's going to be a quick exit by the left tackle right there. Great job by the guard getting that movement right there. Guard pulling, tracks his guy, and we get a big score out of it. Okay, right here, you know, look at your backers, backer, this is a safety. So we're going to try to, you know, run away from the safety, all right? So we're working to the backside backer right there. This, the nose tackle is trying to loop off. The tackle does a good job of seeing it, picking it up. Guard does a nice job of getting square, hitting color. Great job by the back getting north and south. Okay. Coming on the right side right here, once again, who's the backers? This guy, run away from him. So get square, and then, you know, and then if you do a good job right there, you'll get out of it. I love this one. You know, there's not much here. They're down the goal line, really trying to squeeze us. Good job by the guard right there, getting up in there. Great job by the back, hitting in the A-gap and working it out. And then this is my favorite one right here. So I told them, you know, 25 is the backer, 13 is the backers. That's who we block on the power, right? Well, now look where the safety is. He's in the middle, okay? So we totally ignore the safety. But the guard, he saves my ass here. he gets on them, then sees what's happening, comes off, gets a nice help in the end zone. That was an overtime game winner, so that was fun. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Be available for any questions.